Hello, I'm Russell, and today I'm going to talk about Romana Didulo, the self-proclaimed Queen of the Kingdom of Canada. That's something that she made up, or her followers made up. She used to be from the Philippines. She moved to Canada when she was 15 by her own admission on her first website for the Canada1stParty, which is now defunct, but you can still see it in the Internet Archives, the wayback machine. She said that she was 15 when she came to Canada, and it was a place she knew nothing about. Currently, in 2023, she's claiming to have Indigenous ancestry and to be the Queen of Canada. In 2021, she was not claiming Indigenous ancestry. She still said on her website she was from the Philippines, and that was for the unregistered Canada First Party. I don't know how a person can hope to win an election if they do not register their political party. Otherwise, you don't appear on the ballots in Canada.
Hello Canada, I'm Romana Didulo. I am the founder and leader of Canada First.
After her solo endeavor as the Canada First Party, she got followers, a lot of followers during COVID. She started gaining people partly because of the things she was already saying, but she started including a whole lot of new things into her already bizarre and fragmented platform for Canada. She started including a lot of Russian propaganda, which hadn't previously been there, or at least it wasn't right at the forefront. She's got a Telegram channel now where she openly broadcasts Sputnik and RT News from Russia, and all kinds of memes and posts praising the Russian leadership. Why that is, what their connection is from Russia, I could assume funding, but I don't know. They do get their funding, mostly it's been through crypto. Ripple was something that they used for a while, but that faced some marketplace scrutiny and regulations in the United States. But they still use other crypto, and they accept, they've got GoFundMe campaigns, they accept PayPal, credit card payments, they can just get paid directly. There's all kinds of ways. But what's interesting here is a lot of people focus on the main figurehead, Romana Didulo. But she's got a whole team, and it's important to know that there are other team members. The money, in fact, does not go to Didulo. It goes mostly to a man named Cavan, Desjardins, Desjardins. There's a whole team of people, and they broadcast. Romana Didulo isn't usually on the broadcast. She's sometimes heard in the background, but only sometimes. They do play the theme song every single time at the beginning of the shows.
I don't do politics. She's a queen who lives a separate people doing what no other does. And around the world. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Pour écouter l'émission et la télévision de Sa Majesté la Reine Romana Didulo.
In addition to familiar Canadian conspiracies and Russian conspiracies, misinformation, propaganda, they also invoke the name Maharlika a lot. That is former President Ferdinand Marcos of the Philippines. That's once again a Philippines connection to Didulo and not a Canadian Indigenous connection. But in the Philippines, former President Ferdinand Marcos, who looted the country, and his wife is very famous. Amelia Marcos is very famous for her shoe collection. She spent millions of dollars of the Philippines tax money on just shoes. The two of them stole millions of dollars from the Philippines, and now their son, with the name Bong Bong Marcos, is in charge of the country again. So I guess the people of the Philippines aren't finished being looted, but Didulo is happy to continue the tradition of promoting the idea of the kingdom of Maharlika in the Philippines, and that there's some kind of gold or payment owed. Didulo and her entourage travel in a convoy with several RVs. seek refuge wherever they can, whoever will have them, usually an acreage somewhere a little bit more remote. They got a little bit more notoriety though when they went to Peterborough, Ontario in 2022 and tried to arrest the police. This didn't work. Obviously, the police arrested them. They've been kicked out of Kamsack, Saskatchewan in the summer of 2023, and they've recently taken up residence at an old school in Richmound, Saskatchewan. It's close to the Alberta border. They have a national flag. They have an anthem. The followers, though, again, not Didulo herself, but the followers have created this anthem and they've sung in it. Some of the lyrics are laughably bad. They're ridiculous, and others are sang really well. Credit where credit is due. They can hit those notes.
Spreading joy and peace and love. Our chief commander and his day.
The song sounds familiar. That's because the instrumentals are from Boney M's song Rasputin. I do have to keep talking because if I stop talking, the music I'll get a copyright strike from Google. Is it a coincidence that Didulo and her followers spread Russian propaganda from Sputnik, RT, and through Telegram memes, and chose a song about Russia? It's catchy, it's upbeat. But is that a coincidence? There's a bit of back and forth. People get the impression that this cult is dangerous, and to some extent they are. They have called for people to be killed or executed, but nobody in their group certainly acts on it. Whenever there's issues is because they convinced other people from outside of their immediate team to act on their behalf. In Peterborough, Ontario, it wasn't their team, their close team, their higher-ups who got arrested. It was other people. There's also calls for the cult members to be killed, to die. It's not just coming from them, but there are attacks against them. I'm not going to go down to Richmound. I'm not going to film them. I'm not going to try to interview them. Other people have. There's a lot of people there. There's protesters, counter-protesters. They've got the place roped off. There's security cameras. People on the roof. They're always watching, always filming. It's very guarded. That's not a place that I can go and really get anything. The interview with the owner of the school is interesting. It gives a little bit of an insight into how a person becomes a part of this group, how a person finds out about them and is convinced. And it doesn't take a whole lot of convincing because they're people who already hold a lot of the same ideas. They're looking for someone who will be their voice, who will stand up and publicly say the things they're thinking. Didulo doesn't really have to convince people that propaganda's true. Didulo just has to convince them that she's the person who will speak for them, who will stand up for them. And then they're happy to cheer her on and pay her and support her.
Welcome all I ams in the Kingdom of Canada and around the world. The owner, Ricky Mass from Richmound, Saskatchewan. How you became aware of Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didulo?
Well, that was a few years ago. I was on Telegram and Queen Romana came online, and I could not believe the zest and the energy that lady had. In fact, she was talking everything I've been thinking about for a long time, but abundantly clear that, yeah, she's going to do something about it. And that's where I started to follow her. And I think it was 3 years that I had followed her before I got this opportunity. Seeing a post on Queen Romana's channel that she was looking for a meet and greet location in Saskatchewan. I submitted my information. I got a message saying, yeah, we're on our way. And I'm going, my response was, can you give me a couple of days to clean up? And the response was, start now.
It's Ricky Mans. So that's the owner of the property right there. I guess he's doing general security.
The cult uses all kinds of specific language, jargon, they don't say blessings. There's a lot of religious imagery, talk about God, but they don't say blessings, they say blissings. There are purple hearts everywhere. Purple seems to be the main color. But it's all about healing light and energy, and the idea that the Queen will just heal people, will make a decree declaring that people will be healed. And to help with the healing is something called a med bed. It's a science fiction idea that somebody lies down in a bed and it will just heal whatever ailments they have. It's not a real thing. You can do a Google search and find med beds that are real, but they're hospital beds. They're fancy hospital beds. That's it. They don't heal people with miraculous healing energy. In the end, it's genuinely difficult. It's very hard to tell whether these people are just grifters looking for a payout, trying to scam people, or if they actually believe what they're talking about. It's hard to tell the difference. They've got all kinds of global domination and secret society fantasies. It's all really familiar for anybody who's followed conspiracy theories. Like this goes back to Alex Jones before 9/11, the World Trade Towers. Before that, he was following RFID tags, tracking in people, and the Bilderberg Group, the Illuminati. None of this is new. This group, and conspiracies in general, tend to fit into the gap where governments aren't transparent or communicating enough with the public. When a government fails to communicate something, and there's obviously holes in the story, other people are willing to fill those holes in with whatever they find and whatever they make up. And if the government doesn't fill those holes with the truth, then the conspiracies continue.
Spreading joy and peace and love, our chief commander and his stay.
Queen Romana, over and out.